Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to Coniston. I'm in the copper mines this week and I'm just making my way up to Levers Water. I'm going to do a camp on a fell that everybody bypasses. Even Wainwright completely ignored it and never made it one of his Wainwrights. And I don't know why. I've been up there before, so tonight I'm going to spend the night up there. Weather-wise, it keeps on raining and it's completely clagged in. The old man of Coniston's behind us. And I'm just making my way up now. Just stopped to put the waterproof on. If it carries on, I'm going to put the waterproof trousers on. Right, keep heading on up to Levers Water. I just wish this clag had left. You get a bit more views. Surprising all the rain we've had, the sound's actually quite low. Normally the water's lapping over this, and sometimes it's that bad you can't even cross it. I'm quite surprised it's there. Right, that's Levers Water done, which is what's behind me. The clag's starting to lift a bit now, so you'll probably be able to see more of Levers Water. So I've come in at the outlet, which is at the other end, and then I've just followed the path around it. And I'm going to head that way, which is following the band. Black Sail, where I'm going to camp, is literally behind me. So distance-wise, I haven't got that far to go really. But I need to follow the path alongside the band, get to a huge cairn, and then I turn right and then make my way up, and that's the way also to Weatherland. There is water sources up there, there's little streams and stuff, so I'm not too worried about getting water. But it's finally, talking of water, it's finally stopped raining. I'm not going to tempt fate and take my waterproofs off just yet. I'll give it a bit longer. The clag's starting to lift, the wind's starting to settle, and we are starting to see a little bit of blue sky. And we can now completely see the tarn. Just shows you how quickly it changes. Right, that way. Right, I've just stopped and probably tempting fate, but I've just took my waterproof trousers off. The sun's trying to come out, and at least it's stopped raining, but it keeps going grey and then a bit windy, and I don't think the weather knows what it wants to do. So Black Sail is behind me, which is where we're heading. So we've just got to go around this corner, get to a big cairn, and then turn right. If we were to go left, I'll spin you around and show you. If we were to go left, we'd go up this, and at the top of there is Swirl How, and then from Swirl How you've got Great Cars, which is there, but this is called the prison. I think I called it the band further down there, but it's actually called the prison. So if you were to follow along the tops, that would eventually lead you to Brimfell and the Old Man of Coniston, which is there. So you got Levers Water here, which is where I've come up, and I've just basically followed it up. Nice easy one. Distance wise, I think it's only about 4 miles. I just wish the weather would decide what it's doing. I hate it when it's like raining and then it stops, and then you take your waterproofs off and then it starts raining again, so you put your waterproofs back on and then it stops again. Anyway, stop moaning, let's get up there. Right, I've not got that far to go now. Black Sail is just behind me, and Wetherlam is just behind me that way. The water source that I've used up here before is completely dry, and it's very, very peaty. As you can see, there's a water source on the way up to Wetherlam that I've used before, and it's just like this. So I've managed to find another one there, but a lot of them are either dry or they're frozen solid like an inch of ice. I actually tried to break one over there with my hiking poles, and I was hitting the ice that hard that I set off the incident detection on my Garmin watch. So I've had to cancel that, so no one thinks I'm in trouble. But yeah, I've not got that far to go now. I'm going to get a couple of litres of water and then make my way up onto Black Sail, or Black Sails. But the views are really opening up. You can actually see where I was the other week. Have a quick look. So, you've got Piker Stickle, you've got Bowfell, Crinkled Crags are here, and I was, when I did the Raise video, I was over here, and Raise is just, I don't know if the camera will make it, just in the very distance, right at the back, which is High Raise, which is what I camped on. So yeah, Wetherlam is literally there, and then Black Sail, which is where I'm heading, is just over the other side of here. So I've not got that far to go. It's not turned out to be a bad day really. At least the rain's gone. Still a little bit windy, as you can probably hear. But it is cold. It is going to be cold tonight. Right, rucksack back on, and make my way up onto Black Sail. And I think the first thing I'm going to do is get a brew on. Parched. Right, let's get going. So this is Black Sails, and it's not a Wainwright, because Wainwright didn't want it. He completely ignored it and completely bypassed it. But why? I guess only he knows that. I don't think it's too shabby myself, and it's going to be home for the night. The views are absolutely stunning, so I don't really know what he didn't like about it. And because Wainwright missed it, everyone else misses it. It's not on the list of summits to tick off. I'll spin you around and you can see what I can see. So you got Wetherlam, and then in the distance, Coniston water. You got the old man of Coniston, Brimfell, Swirl House, and Great Cars. Lots of Wainwrights. The only one you can't see is Dow Crag and Grey Friar, which are over the other side. And if you go to the edge over there, you can actually see down to Levers Water. Only Wainwright knows. So I've earmarked my spot, which is going to be here. I've been up here before. I came last summer, and I scoped out a few possible pitches. So as a bit of a tip for pitching, I know that tonight the wind is going to be in northeast direction. It's not going to be a lot, it's only about 10 or 15 mile an hour. So what I normally do is find a levelish pitch And then with me watch, I find north, which is roughly there. You can either use your watch or you can be old-fashioned and use a normal compass. And then I know that northeast is going to be there. And what I do is I use my trekking poles and mark out the position, so I know that the tent is going to be pointing in the right direction wind-wise, and that is going to be my spot for the night. So at least you get the tent in the right direction. I know wind can change direction during the night. It does happen, but it is quite rare that it does. Right, I'm going to hang around for a little bit longer. Might go for a wander around, and then I'm going to get the tent up and get a well-deserved brew on, I think. Right, catch you in a bit. Right, we're all pitched up. Can you guess what tent I'm in? Yeah, I'm back in the Nammatj. I'm just loving the extra space for these long winter camps. I enjoy the solo. The black label that I've got, I've had that for a while. I had a red label before that, so I've had a solo for quite a few years now. Cracking tent, absolutely faultless tent. But for these long winter camps in the Nammatj, you've just got so much more room. And yeah, there is a weight penalty. Obviously, it's a little bit heavier. But also on these winter camps, I'm not hiking as far, so I can carry the extra weight. I've got extra weight in sleeping bag, rucksack, everything's heavier, so I don't mind carrying a little bit more weight in the tent to then get a lot more space inside. So I've just made myself a brew, got sorted, blown my mat up, sorted my sleeping bag out. Just going to chill now. It's going to go dark in about the next 30 minutes. And then we're tent bound, which again is why I'm loving the Nammatj, for that extra space. Alright. There's no frost tonight, or it doesn't look like there is anyway. It does feel cold. There's no frost on the tent or anything. So I'm going to enjoy my brew with that view. There's no sunset, unfortunately. Maybe we might get a sunrise tomorrow, maybe. I don't know. There's absolutely no one around, no one on Weatherlam. Coniston Old Man's a popular one. Can't see anybody up there. I've not seen anyone now for a good few hours. So I don't know. Right, I'm going to enjoy my brew with a view. Cheers. Right, I'm going to get some tea on. I am just on another sea. I call them sea to summit, but they're not. The summit sweet. Pasta bolognese. You've probably had it. I reckon it's the most popular one that they sell. It tastes alright. So I'm going to boil some water, get that rehydrated. I've actually swapped my stove out this week, and I did last time when I was on Hilleberg. So I'm using the MSR Pocket Rocket Deluxe, which has been a good stove actually, and soaks 750 pot, because that stove and that canister fit nicely in the pot. Nothing wrong with the wind burner. Just chop and change really. I think the wind burner is better in winter, in colder temperatures. But the Pocket Rocket Deluxe, it copes okay. It's got the piezo on it. That's 1 pouch of water gone already. Not as cold as I thought it was gonna be. There's no frost on the tent, so it's definitely not gone below 0. Right, I'll get this boiled. Get some tea on the go. You can never find the little absorber things inside them. They're either at the top or you spend half an hour trying to find it. Yeah, like this one's going to be. I'm sure they put them in the bottom to annoy you. I've never yet forgot to take it out, so at least that's worth. Because the writing's dead tiny on the back, I always write on the front when I'm at home. So line D, 300mm. So I'll pop this in my heat pouch, fill it up with water. That will keep it warm while it hydrates, or rehydrates, and then we're good to go. Right, 8 minutes. Check the time. I usually give it 10, give it a bit longer. So what I mean about it having a bottom, if you watch my load out video, so you can actually, it doesn't fall over. So you can stand it anywhere. And I've got Alaska Premium Cider, which feels very cold, so I'm going to have that as well. And then I usually bring just a naan bread, which just bulks it up a bit more, so I'll eat that as well. I checked my watch before, distance wise today, it was just over 4 miles, so it's not very far, and we're not that high either. In the morning I imagine it's going to be roughly the same sort of distance. I might drop back down to Lever's Water, but straight down like to the end of Black Sail, or I might veer off to the left and I think you can drop into the next valley. Might go that way because I've not been that way before. So you're kind of in the valley between Black Sails and Weatherland, and you go past all the mining sort of works and stuff. So I might go that way. The wind's picking up a bit. It's only I checked the forecast before. It's only meant to be around 10 mile an hour, and it feels like it's every now and again there's a bit of a gust that, you know, hits the tent. It'll be fine, I'm sure it will be. So right, can swap that and sort that out. Right, I'm going to do a bit of tidying up on my meal, rehydrates, and then I'll get my meal, and then I'll get back to you in a bit. Right, I've had my pasta bolognese and my can of cider. I've just made myself a Malteser hot chocolate, which is quite nice, and a couple of biscuits before I go to bed.
I know some people take up like a piece of steak or cook burgers and stuff, but I'm more just pour some hot water into a dried meal. Although having said that, the dried meals, the price of them is just getting a bit ridiculous now. They used to be about £4.50, £5, and now they're sort of they're £7-8 for the Summit Sweet ones, and the real Chermat ones, they're like 12-13 quid. So you could buy yourself a nice cut of steak and some mushrooms or vegetables or whatever you want to bring and cook it, but it's just too easy to pour hot water into something. And to be fair, they taste okay. They serve a purpose. You won't want to eat them at home. Well, probably too expensive to eat at home, but yeah, they serve a purpose, don't they? So yeah, I'm just going to finish my hot chocolate and then get myself some shut-eye. I've filled my water pot up. The tent's just starting to freeze slightly on the inside, so I've filled my water pot up. So I've got water for morning. My water filter is in a dry bag in my sleeping bag, and my battery pack's in my sleeping bag as well at the bottom of my sleeping bag. A couple of hand warmers somewhere. Oh, there's one. Always bring a couple of them. I'll probably end up kicking the down jacket off halfway through the night, which is what I normally do. I've half vented this door, and the front and sort of back vents are open, so I'll see how we get on for condensation in the morning. We're going to get some, it's inevitable, but yeah, we've got a nice breeze blowing. The wind's blowing a bit harder than what I thought it would be. I checked the forecast again, and it's still 10-15 mile an hour, but just every now and again there's a bit of a violent gust sort of hits the tent. So I don't know if it's rotoring round off Weatherlam and coming over this way or not. I don't know. But yeah. Right. I'm going to get some shut-eye after I've had my hot chocolate. And I shall catch you in the morning. Bye for now.
Morning. It is 20 to 8. The wind picked up about 10 o'clock last night. And it got quite bad actually, up until about 3 o'clock this morning. That wasn't forecasted. The tent was flapping about. I don't know what the wind speed was, I certainly wasn't going outside to test it. But yeah, it was pretty windy last night. And then about 3 o'clock it just faded out and went. And now I can just hear a bit of a breeze outside. Condensation. Yeah, we've got a bit on the roof, a bit on the sleeping bag. But it's not too bad. So I'm just going to make myself a coffee. Sunrise, according to my watch, is 8:25. And it's I've just looked outside, it's clear. So I might get a sunrise this morning. It's alright, just going to have myself a brew. And then get out this sleeping bag, which is the bit I hate. When you're all nice and toasty in your sleeping bag and then you've got to get out into the cold. There's a little bit of frost on the inside of the tent. So temperatures must have gone below 0. Right, I'll have a brew. I'll see you outside.
Right, we're out the tent. The sun is trying to come up over there, but it's in the cloud at the moment. The tent did freeze, so there's plenty of frost on the tent this morning. It's a nice crisp winter morning. Bit of a breeze every now and again. The old man's all clagged in over there. Weatherlam's all clear though. You can see Coniston water down there. So yeah, it's not a bad morning. Be better if that cloud lifted and then you get a nice sunrise. You can't have everything, I suppose. Right, I'm going to make myself another brew. I'm not in any hurry this morning. Get packed up inside and then drop the tent. There is actually a path down there. So I'm going to follow that path and see where it leads. There's two options. I can drop into that valley, or I can make my way back to Levers Water. I'm going to try and drop into that valley because it's been a while since I've been there. I've used that valley before now to come up to Weatherlam. It's where all the old mine works are. So I'm going to try and drop down in it. It's not actually on the map. When you look on the map, there's no paths for this for black sails, which could be another reason why people don't visit it. But there's paths everywhere. They're actually here when you're here. All right. Get myself another brew on. See if Mr. Sun comes out for the day. Right, bags aren't back, we're all packed up. As always, we leave no trace, nobody had known I'd been there. That's black sails finally ticked off, it's been a good one. The sun keeps trying to poke through the clag, and it is actually trying to snow, so I've put the waterproof on just to keep it a bit drier. We're going to drop down, pick up this path, and then head back down into that valley, and that'll bring us down into where all the copper mines are. Right, let's get going. Right, so we've just stopped here for a minute and ditched the waterproof. It is slightly, ever so slightly snowing, but I'm just generating too much heat. So I put the windbreaker back on. I've got to this point here. I don't know if you can see, but the path splits, goes to the left. I'm going to follow it to the left, and hopefully it'll bring me into that valley. This is a route I've not done before, but if you go straight on, it takes you straight down to Levers Water. So if you do miss the path, you can just follow it down to Levers Water. Look at that. The old man of Coniston waking up. Absolutely stunning. Lovely view over Swirl How. You can see Brimfell, quite clearly see the old man Coniston. I can hear voices, so I think there's people up there. But you can't blame them on such a great morning. Weatherlam's disappeared in the clag. Right, keep making my way down. Yep, still making my way down. So I've come from up there, and I'm now going along that path there. I'll actually, I'll spin you around actually and show you. So I'm going to follow this path instead of going to the right. If I go to the right, I'll end up down there at Levers Water, which you can do. But that's the way I came up. One of my old wild camps, I think it was either my second or third ever wild camp, was actually on this on this flat bit here, because I remember taking a picture up there looking down. If I can find a picture, I'll put it up on the screen in my my old wild country tent a few years ago. So yeah, I thought I recognised it. Yeah, it was a good spot, that. Right, head that way, keep going. Right, so I've picked the path up that comes down into the valley. So I'm just making my way down into the bottom of the valley and then follow it along. There's lots of history around here in the copper mines, and obviously a lot of mines, and a lot of old workings and stuff like that. But there are a lot of mine shafts like this one here, and if you want my advice, I'd stay out of them, because a lot of them are very, very deep, and if something was to happen in there, no one would ever find you. So yeah, you've heard of curiosity killed the cat. If you go in there, curiosity might kill the hiker. So yeah, I'd stay clear of them. A lot of them are gated up, so you can't go in them, but there's so many of them around here. It's like Swiss cheese, they're everywhere. Apparently they used to follow the copper vein up, or the ore rock, and they were hacking away, and then as they got so high, they put wooden floors in, like wooden chocks, and then they'd stand on them, and then they'd keep going up and up and so on. So if you go in at a different level, you're not standing on a rocky floor, you're standing on old wooden joists. And if you fall through one of them, they're hundreds of years old. You could drop into a mine shaft and no one would ever find you. So yeah, stay clear of them. Right, that way. Right, so I'm at the bottom of the valley. Black Sails is up there behind me. Spin you around. That's the way I've come down. There's a bit of a board here that shows you some of the workings and everything, how it was when it was being used back in the day. Just show you. So it's like a pumping station where they pump the water out from the mines. So the little house and the wheel, and then I've come down what was the pulley system. So the pulley system would have been here. So I've actually come down that, and then the water wheel would have been here, and then his little house was here. Look at that. When people were made of sterner stuff, I certainly wouldn't like to go down the mines in the weathers that you get around here. But I suppose they had to, otherwise they didn't earn money. If they didn't earn money, they didn't eat. Very different times. Right, that way. I just stopped then to talk to a fell runner, and we were chatting for about 10 minutes, and then she set off and fell straight on her backside. So even fell runners fall over. I think she's okay though. She's making her way down. So but look at that. Looks like the old man's got a dust in the snow today. Yeah, be quite cool up there today, I think. So right, if you're still watching, thanks very much. I'm going to end the video here. It's been a really good one. Shame yesterday about the wind and the rain. If anyone's got any advice on the camera I've got, is really good, but the audio, I have to use an external microphone. I've tried various different ones and they're not working. So I'm looking at a DJI Action 4 or the GoPro Hero 12, just to update to better equipment. If anyone's got any comments or advice on recording stuff, I'd appreciate that. So yeah, it's been a good one. Finally ticked Black Sails off as a wild camp. I think I disagree with Wainwright. I think that should have been a Wainwright personally, but only he knows why it wasn't a Wainwright. So thanks again for watching, and as always, I'll catch you on the next one. Bye for now.